Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And this is one of those times that I got to pick a segment this morning. Bill Cooksey and Ron Wong have both doubled out on me, and we're still trying to hook up with Ronnie Capps, and we're going to get Ronnie on. And we will on the next segment. But this time we're going to talk to the man who started right here in West Tennessee in his Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency journey. And now on June the 1st will be the man that follows Ed Carter is the executive director of the TWRA, and that's our good friend Bobby Wilson. Hey, Bobby.
Good morning, Larry, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thank you. I'm waiting on gifts. You know, now it's online. You can send them online now, Bobby. You know,
I'll do it.
Maybe a TWR hat autographed by Gary Myers. That'd be good. Okay, can you do that for me? So
work on it.
Work on it. And, you know, this is for Saturday. Bill Cooksey and Ron Wong are listening in on that as our co-host. And we couldn't do this segment, Bobby, without I happened to play golf with Dave Gabbard on Tuesday. He and Rand and my wife. And I said, is there anything you'd like to say to the new director? And I opened up the door, Bobby. So Dave Gabbard is joining us, too. Hey, Dave.
Hey, good morning and happy birthday.
Thank you.
One of the main things I want to say to the new director.
What is it?
Is congratulations.
That's a long word. That's a long.
It is.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I've known this gentleman for about 37 years or so.
Yep. Yeah.
And to me, with my 34, almost 35 years with the agency that I had before I left, and looking at a lot of the commission decisions over those years, I can see some ones that I didn't agree with, but then you see some that you really agree with, and this is one of the ones that I think they got it right. They hit it right on the head.
Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
And Bobby, I know that let's talk about the career. I know, tell our listeners, I know you're from the Father Ryan area of Nashville back in those days, and your career. Did you start here, or were you was West Tennessee where you started, or did you spend time before you came to West Tennessee? I can't remember.
Well, close. The first full-time job I took with TWA was out of the Region 1 office in Jackson, what is now known as Lake Graham.
Yes.
And but before that, I worked in the Crossville area, a part-time job building fisher tractors while I was still in graduate school.
Okay, but your first job was here as what, lake manager or what, technician? What
yes.
were you? Lake manager?
Lake manager at Lake Graham. Actually, it was called Jackson Lake at the time. They didn't have a name for it. And then the county, Madison County, wanted to call it Madison County Lake because they built a road, Cotton Grove Road bridge. They built it up and spent a lot of money. And then later the commission decided it needed to be named after John D. Graham, who was real instrumental in having that lake, making sure it happened.
And then
I was there I was only there really about 4 years.
4 years.
At that lake.
But you had a lot to do. Me and you, I can still remember walking the contour of Glen Springs.
Yes.
When we put.
I'm very proud of that project too. I remember you and I spending some time doing that many years ago.
Yeah, because it was an important assignment and everything. So you first came. How many years have you got at the agency right now?
40 years.
40 years right now.
40 years, yeah, plus a couple of months. Actually, more than that if you count my part-time job. So maybe 40 and a half. But
let's
anyway.
Talk to us about the position itself and following Ed Carter. I mean, you and Ed you weren't just the assistant director. Of course, you were chief of fisheries before that.
Right.
But you and Ed had a special relationship too as friends, right?
We did. Those of you who don't know Ed, if you can ever meet him, you would be blessed because he is a tremendous guy. He's just as sincere, as honest, his integrity is incredible. Very humble man, it's just a great all-around guy. And I think the main reason that I even put in to be the deputy director 5 years ago was because of him.
Yeah.
If it had been anybody else, I probably would have done. I would have stayed the chief of fisheries and probably would have been happy.
But the job itself right now, I mean, you've been in it. You're not officially in it till the 1st, but
right.
also you had to sit through. It looked like Hollywood Squares watching all you guys, on Zoom, and there you were. Yeah, and there you were with your little tie on, like, first grade. Looked like, right. I mean, Charlie Weaver and all the other guys in Hollywood Squares. And I expected Bobby Wilson to answer one of the questions or something. How did that feel to be the first executive director ever chosen through Hollywood Squares? I mean, you look like was that a tough experience not being in the room with everybody?
Actually, it wasn't too bad. I would have preferred to have been there for the selection.
Well, sure.
The interview, which was a week before that, was the same thing. It was like Hollywood Squares all over again, the Zoom meeting, and that was interesting. I kind of liked that a little better because I was more at ease during the interview, and because it wasn't right in front of 13 people that were asking me questions. So
and asking you the questions and things along that line, and it came to this point. I think that Kurt Holbert said it all. He was going to put us all in tears, man. I mean, the choice when they started voting, I didn't hear a nay in there. There's no. It was yours. So, what's the feeling now, Bobby? Since this has happened now, I know you're hearing from a lot of folks. A lot of congratulations. I know you've got a lot of friends, particularly in West Tennessee here, like Dave, as Dave was saying, that this area means a lot to you. But at the same time, talk about your emotions as this starts, and also what's going to be happening that first commission meeting, if they ever have one, in June. So talk about what's happened since you've been named and what's up next for you.
Well, it's all fun and games now because it's all, the accolades and congratulations. And then June 1st, we'll see. Somebody compared it to the old saying that dog chases a car. What happens if he catches, or when he catches a car? What are you going to do then?
Yeah.
So I've heard that from a couple of people, but I'm ready for it. I think it's going to be a pretty smooth transition between from Ed to me, because we're both really the same kind of personalities. Our management style is fairly similar, and since I've been working with him and under him for 5 years, pretty well know what to expect. It's not like I'm stepping to a job cold.
Right.
Just at a higher level, more responsibilities and that kind of thing. So, we're having to deal with, as you know, the chronic wasting disease. That's big on our list. Number one concern we have in the state for, at least on the wildlife side, and of course Asian carp are the number one concern on the fishery side. So we're having to battle both of those, of non-native invasive things, but we have a pretty good handle on both of them. I mean, they're not under control or anything, but we've got a management plan for the Asian carp, and we're going to go forward with that. And we have a management plan for the chronic wasting disease. So at least we have that, and I think we're in pretty good shape as far as having an idea of where we're going to go with it.
And again, we're talking to Bobby Wilson, who will become the executive director of the TWRA on June the 1st at the retirement of our good friend Ed Carter. And Dave, I know you had worked with Bobby in the past, and your capacity is not only just in the field in Henderson County, Dave, but also as the Minister of Propaganda for the TWRA, as we like to call it. So working with Bobby is going to be one of those things where what was that license plate you had, Bobby? Fish head. It just doesn't seem appropriate for the executive director. Do you still have that, Bobby? You did take that off, didn't you?
I did take it off. I've got it. I took it off.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the executive director of TWRA wasn't driving around that same truck with fish head on the front now.
But I do have a smallmouth bass specialty license plate.
Oh, I hope you do. I mean, I hope you
got
do.
Number 5.
Number 5. And so, Dave,
you know who's got number 1, right?
Who's got number 1?
Bill Dance.
Well, I wonder why. Okay.
Well, I mean, he promoted it. He's the number 1
And you're 5?
Bass fisherman in the state.
And you're number 5? I'm kind of interested in who's 2, 3, and 4 now. You've opened up.
Yeah, it's a long story. I was the assistant chief of fisheries when I was coordinating all that, and
okay.
And, I was glad to get 5.
Yeah, well, 5 is a good number, and I know Dance is.
It is.
He's who have you heard from? Have you heard from people you hadn't heard from in a while? Did you get some calls, or are you refusing calls? Yeah.
I've heard from a lot of folks, and then some people that I haven't heard from in a while. Somebody went to high school even.
Really?
An email said they read it in the papers, or they were congratulating me. But yeah,
somebody you went to high school knew how to email. That's good. Now that's that's impressive from Father Ryan. But
now, yeah. How old are you, Larry?
No, I'm real old, Bobby. We were young, but
you're young.
No, we kid a lot. Shared a duck blind with Bobby, walked a lot of things with Bobby, and as Dave Gabbert said, as he's listened in on this thing, and Bill and Ron have too, have great admiration for this young man. He's not young anymore, but he's still young to me.
And the added benefits Bobby's going to bring to the agency is if you look at most successful, businesses and corporations, this man, more or less, if you want to say, started at the bottom.
He did.
He's built fishing tractors. He's had to have him hands on that weed eater.
Yeah.
And everything, and come on up through. So he knows what each position entails. And I call somebody like that knows it from ground up. You can look at more or less your BS proof. You know what the different divisions.
I told you he's a minister of propaganda. Yeah, he slips in things like that. We don't have the 10-second button, Bobby, but
yeah, I've got a PhD.
Yeah,
too.
You do. Yeah. Okay.
A post hole digger.
Post hole digger. All right. Did you hear that, Gabbard?
Yeah. Oh God.
Hey, well, Mr. Post Hole, we appreciate you taking time. I know it's been busy for you and everything. Again, Bobby Wilson, congratulations. I know we're all thrilled for this promotion for you. You've earned it, and we hope that despite my age, that we will continue to be able to utilize your spirits and your talents through this radio broadcast, which has been part of the TWRA family for a long, long time. And
yes.
I can't tell you how much we appreciate the TWRA and support for Outdoors with Larry Ray for all these almost 19 years. So hope to keep it.
I've got to say, I've got one little golfing story.
Well, you better hurry because it might get cut out. But, I've played golf with Bobby before, I think. All right.
We played one.
Oh, no, he was in the other fairway, and I got his ball for him. Okay, yeah.
Right by the airport.
What now? Say it again. You went by the airport. Where?
Up there in Dyersburg. They're a nice little municipal.
Oh, yeah, okay.
By the airport.
Right.
I watched this gentleman tee it up on the tee box and put the ball right in the middle of the runway.
How did he play it as it lays? So so that's where that mark is on the runway at the Dyersburg Airport in honor of Bobby Wilson. Okay, that's good. Bobby, I didn't bring that up. That was Gabbert.
That's okay. That's all right.
Bobby, thank you, buddy. Have a great day. Great, safe Memorial Weekend, folks. And Bobby Wilson, again, we'll stay in touch, okay?
Hey, Larry, thank you, and thank everybody else, too.
All right, thank you, buddy. All right, let's take a break, come right back, and we're going to Ronnie Capps, we think now. Right, Ron Wall?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll be right back.